On this episode of Ooza's Auto Finds, Scottsdale, Arizona, vibrant, bustling with life, and fast cars. I'm headed down to McClaren of Scottsdale, a certified Lotus dealer, to learn more about the Lotus Evora, its surprising history, and to find out if this car can punch above its weight class. Today, I'm here to speak to a man named Arnie, owner of a Lotus Exige S240, an Evora S, and 18 other cars. I figured he would be just the man to speak to. So Arnie, if you could go between a Lotus Evora or Lamborghini Aventador, which out of the two?
It's not even a question. I take the Lotus in a heartbeat.
Officially unveiled at the British International Motor Show at Excel London in 2008, the Lotus Evora was made to rival cars made by both German and Italian counterparts, bringing a beautiful combination of both high performance and everyday practicality. To explain why the Evora is so exceptional, we have to go back to its origins.
Adding power makes you faster on the straights. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere.
Quoted to Lotus founder Colin Chapman, this quote embodies the principles that Lotus stands for, and no other car better suits this description quite like the Evora. With its heaviest model sitting comfortably at 3,175 pounds or 1,440 kilograms, the Evora still respectably outclasses vehicles such as the BMW 328i and the 428i series by a few hundred pounds, despite being nearly identical in size. But it's not just the weight that allows the Evora to remain competitive. In just the base model, the Evora sports a 3.5-liter V6, producing 276 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. And it gets even better with the Evora S, marching in with a racing variant of the engine, along with a supercharger developed by Harrop, boosting an extra 70 horsepower and 40 pound-feet of torque, which, interestingly enough, is the model shown in the interview footage you are currently viewing. One of the core components of the Evora S model is obviously the supercharger. Now, in your opinion, does the supercharger really affect the driving experience all that much? Is it really that different of a feeling?
It really is, and we didn't really talk about this, but we bought the first Evora when it came out, and I sold it within a year and a half once I drove the S, and I was like, okay, this thing is amazing. And it actually roars. I mean, all the sound comes from behind you, not in front of you. And the second the supercharger comes on, you know it. Plus you have sport mode now, and you put the car in sport mode and you jump on it, you believe me, you know the difference.
Of course, there are other variants of the Evora, such as the GT430 and GT, which boost even further than that. But as Arnie puts it himself, the Evora S is
best in class for the money, without a doubt. Bang for the buck, you'll never get a better car, it's just not possible. Bang for the buck, you'll never get a better car, it's just not possible. It's a very straightforward car, it's super simple to work on, and the reality is that it hasn't really demanded much of anything. The biggest problem would be getting in an accident. Actually, it'll hold up better than any other Lotus because the frame is in 3 parts, so they can fix parts of it. A lot of Elises and Exiges do get totaled because it's one structure. I can't really think of any major issue. I just can't.
You may be wondering, why go for an Evora instead of a Porsche or a Corvette? Well, even though those cars are amazing in their own right, the Lotus Evora has a driving experience that is hard to beat. Since it's such a light car with such a great engine behind it, the Evora handles and takes corners really well. Even though it may not dominate the straights, why do you need to?
I have a friend who actually bought a really expensive car. I won't say what brand because it just doesn't matter. But he was blown away by the Lotus when he bought it. He couldn't believe it. He called me every day. He's like, why don't more people know about these? This is so amazing. I think I spent most of my time going, yeah, I know. It's hydraulic handling as opposed to, power steering that's different. It's being connected to the road. It's being lighter so you can dodge in and out quicker. You have quicker response times. The car just, unless you drive it, it's really hard to understand. And it doesn't have maybe the Mercedes feel, if you will, but it's certainly, you don't need it. It just depends on what you want. If you want a car that's really connected to the road and really drives well, the Lotus is the answer. And it's a unique car. You don't see a lot of them, and you have something that's really special.
The way the Evora drives makes for an awesome experience. No matter who you might be up against, cruising or gunning it, you can tell that the Evora was built with the driver in mind. And there's no better way to feel that except for behind the wheel.
And the BMW is a really respectable car, but it's a whole different feel because the BMW, it's going to slide around and you just have to bring it back and control the car. Whereas the Lotus is going to drive better than you are. And it's more of a point and shoot kind of experience where you've got your weight distribution perfect and you don't have like any spin, any drift. And that's not to say that you couldn't take the BMW and rally it. It would do really, really, really well. It's just a different feeling when you've got the wheel in your hand.
So we've learned that the Evora's impressive handling actually goes back to Lotus's core values. Its handling, performance, reliable engine, and connected driver experience allows the Evora to be better than its competitors. The base model typically can be found anywhere between 40 to 55K USD. The Evora S, well, that typically goes for 55 to 70K, and the 400 can be found for 68 to 80K. And the GT, well, that normally goes for 75 to 106.
A lot of people compare it to the Porsche, and I do like the Cayman, especially the GT, especially the S4. But anyway, that might even be a tiny bit faster car. It's not exciting. It's just, if you want a car where you're like everybody else, that's the car to get. And you might even get more dependability if there's a problem with that. I haven't experienced it, so I think it's just all in how you feel about it and what your heart tells you need to own.
The entire point of the car community is to be neither right nor wrong. If you want to go get a Porsche or Corvette, simply go get one. But there are a million cars you probably haven't thought about, and we're just hoping that on this episode, we gave you more food for thought on the Lotus Evora.
Coming up next on Uza's Auto Finds.
When I first got it and first saw it, and I was standing next to it, I was like, this is cool.
Drift culture's favorite car.
Like, dang, really driving an 8.6?
A car straight out of the 80s.
I just be excited every time I get in.
I mean, you have a big smile on your face.